Hey guys, I'm Sai, and welcome to Ace Podcast Nation. On the channel, we've got interviews, podcast series, content on a variety of subjects, including mental health, football, films, serial killers, conspiracy theories, MMA, boxing, writing, music, and more. All our shows are available in video format at youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation or audio at all the usual podcasting platforms: iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and loads and loads of others. Today's show is one of my favorite shows to record. Is the Unscripted and Uncensored, where I don't have to really do any work for it other than paste a load of questions from my emails and messages, and just no run through, no scripts, just completely uncensored, unedited, and we just talk about what we're told, and it can go off the rails quick. It's good. So it's going to be fun. It could go off the rails, but it'll be a good laugh anyway. So my guest today is Welsh Boxer with a professional record of 12-1, Mr. Gavin Gwynne. Welcome, buddy. How is it going?
Yeah, going good, Beth. Going good.
Yeah, so we're in the hands of the people, good or bad. We'll see we'll decide that at the end, I guess. But before we get into that, I would just get to know you a bit and talk about a bit about you and what not. So where did you grow up?
I grew up in Chiaris, little town in Murphy-Tydfil, and then obviously got with my girlfriend. I've been with her 10 years now. We moved to Nelson. We bought a house, so we've been here 4 years. I think it's this year. Got a little son, Arlo. He's 2.
Awesome.
Really.
Yeah, cool. So what age did you start boxing then?
I was really young. I must have been about 10, 11. Just me and a few of the lads just walked up to the gym one day, as you do. You start things, don't you? Play rugby, football, and we just went to the gym. And it was one of my best friends. His grandfather run the gym, Dennis Andrews. So we'd always go up there. We'd go, even if it was just like one night a week, we'd be in the gym, or 2 nights a week. More of a place just to go and do something, because we'd be bored hanging about, or it was more or less that kind of thing. And then that was up until like 14, 15, and then just went away from the sport sort of thing. I didn't play any rugby or anything again for a couple of years, or no football. And then come back when I was about 18 and then took it serious, knuckled down, started training hard. And then I'm sure I had my first amateur fight when I was 19. So, and then it all just went from there then. It was like a snowball effect, and it all just went from there, like so.
Yeah, so you had a bit of so you started young, and then you had a bit of a gap before your first amateur fight.
Yeah,
so when you were doing it as a kid, like, were you a natural then, like, or?
No, not really. No, we'd spar and whatever else, but when you're kids, that's all you want to do is take each other's heads off, and it's brilliant. You go to these shows, you see these kids. They're only about 10, but do you know what? They're the best fights you will ever watch in your life, like, because these kids both want to win so much, and they put everything into it. It's brilliant. Like, so, no, I wouldn't say talent. No, obviously, it's just hard work more than anything. Just putting in the work, like.
Yeah. So, who was your favorite boxer at that point when you were like younger?
Younger, no. I didn't really watch the fighting. Do you know, I was out all the time. I was never in. My mother used to have to come out looking for me, so I'd never be in. And then as soon as I'd be in, I have food, I'd be straight to bed, sort of thing. But like later on, then obviously I got an all-time favorite is Johnny Tapia. I just like his don't give a fuck attitude, sort of thing.
Yeah.
The language, but that's the way he was. Like, he didn't care what he done, or I liked him for that sort of thing, and his fighting style is like is brilliant. Like,
yeah, you say about like your mum used to have to come looking for you and that. Like, obviously, like when we I'm a bit older than you, but like back then, like when you were younger, and certainly when I was younger, it was
Yeah.
different today. Like you could go out in the morning in the summer holidays, and you come back
Yeah.
at tea time, like, or come back when it gets
Yeah.
dark, and you can't do that now with like the
No,
day and
no.
age we're in now. Like kids and didn't have mobile phone. Well, I didn't have mobile phones. Like I used to go out in the morning after breakfast and come back when it got dark. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
like you say, my old dear used to, or my old man, like used to have to come find me, like because I'd be still playing
Yeah.
football. Yeah,
It's a pity, really, because like I'd say that it's great times to have. Obviously, going up into the where we used to live and that we used to go. Well, we used to go everywhere. Like and we'd have the old pit then, but it's turned. That's the Millennium Park now over in Lewis. But that was used to be the old pit, so we always used to be over there, you know, making dens and whatever else. Like there's awesome times over there as kids. Like it's
yeah,
brilliant. But they haven't got nothing like that now, the kids these days. And obviously they all got phones by the time they're 10 and things like that. And that's just, I think it's wrong. But it's good for them to have phones just in a safe way, because obviously all the shit that's happening in the world. Like, but it's taking some of their childhood away as well. So it's a bit bad as well. So.
yeah. So like I just said to you before we started recording, like I got four boys. I just created an extra one. Then I got three boys, and I got like the oldest one. I'm glad that he's got a phone, because he's
Yeah.
you know he's I can get hold of him, or if I need to know where he is and that. Whereas the youngest one, who's 10, wants a phone now all the time because his older brothers have got him. But then I think of all the three of them, like all the stuff they've missed out on, because like times have changed and it's more like about like Xboxes and electronics and that. Whereas I literally all I did was play football like all day, every day. Like
yeah. Well, that's what it was. One of the boys would have a football, and then that bust or whatever else, and then you'd have to go and find something else to do.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. They were good times, like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a shame in some ways, isn't it? But
It is definitely
the way it is. Like, so let's move on to the people's questions. There's loads of them, so I'll just like whip through them and we'll just talk about them, and start with the boxing ones, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just person asked, was boxing always the sport like for you, or were you interested in like rugby and football and stuff like that as well?
It was mainly when I was younger. It was mainly rugby. So as a kid, we all of us used to train. I think it was on a Wednesday, and then we'd play on a Sunday. But that's all we used to play, really. And then obviously we'd play football, but I never used to play for a team until I played around about 20, I think I was. But I used to play in goals, because I used to just like going with the boys and having a laugh, like sort of thing.
Yeah.
I was never a footballer. Like, I always wanted to knock people out. No, when we were in goals and we'd have a corner, I'd wait for the ball to come up and just punch the ball and hopefully hit someone as well. I got sent off twice as well, so football wasn't for me. No.
It's more of a social thing, like
Yeah,
few beers afterwards,
have a crack with the boys, and that's what it was. Like, it was just to have a crack with the boys more than anything.
So do you follow MMA?
No, but I have got a friend, the Mason Jones. Do you know Mason Jones? Yeah. So I do follow him. I follow like Jack Shaw, all the other boys, Brett Johns. Do you know what I mean? I follow the Welsh boys, but no, I don't really follow it flat out sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? I just wish them luck and watch if they fight, then I'll watch them, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like Welsh boys now in fighting, like boxing and MMA, doing really, really well. Like, and it's good to see, because like for a few years it felt like we only had Joe Calzaghe and like Enzo and a couple of others. There weren't now many Welsh fighters around, whereas now there's a few of them in UFC and Cage Warriors and that, and obviously you've got the boxers like yourself and Cody and a couple of others. Joe Cordina as well. Obviously, you fought not long ago. we will mention
Yeah.
that one, mate.
That's a bit of a sore subject at the moment still.
That's a shame, pal, because there's about 3 questions about it.
Yeah, that's
No,
fine.
joking.
But yeah, it's brilliant to see such a small country doing so well on the world stage as well. I seen the Jack Shaw just and his father and is it his cousin as well?
Yeah, I think so. I
Just opened a massive place up. I'm not too sure where it is. Is it over Ebervale way that way?
I think it's up that way soon. My geography's terrible, mate. Even in Wales, my geography's terrible.
Yeah.
But I think it is up that way somewhere in there.
Yeah, so they've opened a massive MMA gym, and I think that'll only push for more fighters to come through as well. And I could see the boxing scene over the last 2 years has just gone from strength to strength with the amount of shows. So it's giving boys a good platform to work off. For like, obviously, before we used to have to go over the bridge to fight, and we used to be the away fighter. So even if you knocked a guy out, you'd get a draw. Like
Yeah.
that's the way it works. Like if you going over to fight someone who sold 15 grand worth of tickets, they're not gonna give you a decision. They're obviously gonna rip you off, because that guy's lining their pockets every couple of months. So it's really good. Like it's brilliant.
Well, yeah, that's it. If that fighter's their cash cow, like who's fighting regular for them, they're not gonna give you any decision, are they, whatsoever? Like, so so what else we got? So this guy wants to know: did you or do you get nervous before fights?
Yeah, all the time. I don't think there's one fight I haven't been shitting a brick, to be honest. Yeah, I'm really nervous, fighter. You wouldn't believe it in the changing rooms, but like inside, I'm thinking, why am I doing this? I just want to go home. Honestly, but it gives you that bit of fire in your belly as well. I think.
Yeah.
Use it as a good thing. I've learned to harness it now and use it as a good thing, sort of in a way. But yeah, I don't think unless you're nervous, I don't think you can perform well either.
No,
You've got to be to a fight, I think.
It's like a nervous energy, mate, isn't it? I suppose, and it's like butterflies, isn't it? Like, and I think, like, well, all the fighters and sportsmen which I've spoken to, they all say the similar. They all get like they get butterflies and nervous energy, and it's interesting because, like, obviously, just recently they had the big UFC card, and Darren Till, who's a British fighter, fought on that, and he was coming back. He was coming on, and he come back. He just lost two big fights, like his big, and one of them was like his big title fight, and he won this fight on the most recent card. I think it was last weekend, and he said in the post fight interviews and the scrum and that afterwards, that like in the build up he thought about like faking an injury, or he was trying to think of ways to get out of the fight, like because his head was. His head was fucked from losing, and then add in that like your weight cut and your nervous energy, and that is brutal, mate.
Yeah, you start doubting yourself as well. Oh, have I done enough training? Am I fit enough, sort of thing? It's just it either makes you or breaks you in the changing rooms. Honest to God, I've seen fighters in there and they look cool as a cucumber, but inside I know what they're feeling. I'm probably the world's worst. You wouldn't tell I'm nervous, and I'm walking around and that's what I'm trying to not be nervous, sort of thing. I'm walking around with a smile on my face and whatever else, but it's not like inside I'm just shitting the brick.
It's like a psychological thing. I suppose that's the psychological part of the game, though, isn't it? Is like getting you controlling those nerves to go and do what you got to do and do your job, stick to the plan and whatever it may be. But
yeah, because obviously in team sports, like you got rugby and football, you got the 15 or whatever it is other guys around you, you're not that nervous because you know you're going to have a little bit of help of them and whatever else. But you go into that ring or cage knowing that there's only you and the other guy. So if it all goes to pot, like, yeah, it's on you ahead, you can't pass the buck to no one else, sort of thing. That's another aspect to it as well.
Yeah, and I suppose the difference is, like, I used to get nervous before I played football and that, but then like you get a couple of touches of the ball early on and it's gone. Whereas in boxing, if you're or MMA, if you're not if you're not focused and you don't control that psychological part of it, and you get clipped in the first couple of seconds or the first minute, it can be game over, can't it? So it's like,
and that's the first round is probably the most important, really, where you want to put a stamp on the fight. So you've got to be 100% switched on for that first round because you're both going to be at your sharpest because of the nerves as well. That makes you sharper, and you're going to be at your weakest as well because you're obviously not warmed up into the fight. You haven't been hit on the chin clean yet, so you don't want to get it on the chin clean, sort of thing, because obviously you'll be cold and you might take a knee or you might get knocked out, sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So just then you mentioned, we were saying about fighters where if you used to go over the bridge and you'd fight, anyways, if you were fighting the local cash cow, as it were, for the promoter, it was difficult to get a decision and stuff. So someone asked, basically they saying, is boxing, I'll read it word for word, it's probably easier. It says, 20 years ago, boxing was totally corrupt and you couldn't trust the judges to make a decision. Do you think that now is better than it's ever been from a corruption point of view?
I've never been on the wrong end of a decision, but so I couldn't really say that. But I've seen obviously we've seen fights on TV and everything else. Everyone sees a fight differently, so you can't really say it's corruption unless it's a stupid wide points victory or when the kid give the other kid an hiding, sort of thing. So I can't really answer that. Do you know what I mean? If I would been robbed or anything like that, I'd probably say, oh look, it's corrupt as hell. But like the referees and the judges, they got a hard enough job. Do you know what I mean? Without everyone critiquing them, they got split seconds, to score a fight. Whereas we'll watch it and then rewind it back, sort of thing, and say, oh no, he hit him with it. But they are watching it in the moment, so it's second by second, like. So probably not in that way with the judges and the ref sort of thing. But other people might say otherwise, sort of thing.
Yeah, and I guess that's something I'd never actually thought about, was the judges, like, they're literally scoring it on the fly and they, second by second. So it's easy. It can be easy to miss something, whether it's,
say you were on that side of the ring. The other judge probably wouldn't seen one of the shots or that side of the ring. So, but that judge might have seen it. So it's different angles from fights, and like people in the crowd might see different parts of the fight as well. So I know when people say, "Oh, he got robbed," but people, if you're watching a fight that you want to win, you'll see it as they win it, whatever happens if it's a close fight. So
of course,
it is what it is, like.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I think we've all seen fights, whether it's MMA or boxing, where you can't really work out where the judges are coming from. But like you say, there's so much which goes into making those decisions that maybe we should cut them some slack. But you never know.
Yeah, definitely, because the job is probably hard enough as it is, like. So, and but we probably got one of the best officials in the game at the moment. I'd say, in British boxing is probably the best out there, like. So
yeah, I don't watch. I tend to watch a lot more MMA than I do boxing, but I watch like big fights and I watch Welsh Boxers, and like when you watch the British judges compared to like the American judges, for instance, you do seem to get less controversial, like
Yeah.
scores and the cards and that.
Oh, shocking in America, I have to
Yeah,
say. I've seen a couple of fights. What was the one I seen recently? I can't remember off the top of my head now. And this guy, he was from Mexico, and they obviously brought him in to it was just an opponent sort of thing. And this Mexican give this boy an hiding, and they give the kid, it was an 8-rounder. They give the kid every round. I was thinking, do you know what I mean? Be decent to the kid. He come and he won the fight. Give him a draw or a couple of rounds. They didn't even give him a round. I was thinking, do you know what I mean?
it's terrible, that, isn't it?
And you see why these kids go down the path of bugger it, I'm not doing it anymore, and they just give up the sport sort of thing. But
Yeah, well, yeah, you look at it from his point of view, like he's taken the fight, and he's, it's probably his big chance or whatever, and
yeah,
he's effectively, he's feeling like he's won the fight, and then to not get a round, he's thinking, well, what's the point? Like,
yeah,
you
what
know what
is
I
the
mean?
point? Yeah, and then you see him hanging his gloves up, and I just don't see the point. Just give him a couple of rounds. I won a couple of rounds there, and then he go back and work in the gym sort of thing. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And then he could come again then. Do you know? So,
yeah,
but
okay.
again, that's all down to like ticket sales and marketing and who you are. So
Yeah, but then it wouldn't have hurt. Even if they weren't going to give him the fight, despite him winning, they could have
yeah,
given him like 2 or 3 rounds, and
yeah,
well,
just
he
little
still
bit of
loses, doesn't he?
yeah. So, but that's the way it is in America. Just what it is, isn't it?
Yeah. So next question was, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's a deep question. That is, Jesus.
Yeah. Obviously, I'm gonna be married then, so um, happily married. Title wise, hopefully, British and Commonwealth champion, and I'm pushing on for a European title in the next 5 years, or hopefully like a European level. Like I wanted to be British champion the end of this year, and honest to God, it broke my heart. Like in my last fight, I broke down in tears and everything. Like it was bad, but hopefully the start of next year, I want to be British champion. I know Joe Cordina has gone down the weight now as well. So if them titles become vacant, hopefully I'll get hopefully I'll get a straight chop, because the performance I put in, and I'd say I only lost like 3 or 4 by 3 or 4 rounds. So hopefully I just get a straight shot. And he's a good champion, like he's European level, I'd say so.
So, seeing as you brought it up, I'm gonna ask you the couple of the questions which the people sent in about that. But obviously, like you said, it was difficult. It's going to be very, very difficult. It was your first pro loss versus fellow Welshman, Joe Cordina.
Yeah.
And like the question is, how difficult was it to deal with, and like how did you deal with it in the days and weeks after it?
It was like well, straight after it, we jumped out the ring. Obviously, I had interviewed by Sky and everything like that, and it didn't really hit me. And then Eddie Earn shook my hand, and he said, "Oh, well done on a great fight." And I think his name is Andy Smith, is it, from Sky?
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, brilliant! Your career will only go from strength to strength for putting in that performance," sort of thing. And I started walking, and I didn't want to see anyone. I just burst into tears. I was like, "Oh shit!" So I put my hand over my head. I just run back to the change rooms. I didn't want to see anyone. And honestly, like I don't care about this. Like I just sat in the change rooms for like 10, 15 minutes crying, because obviously I made a promise to my boy, and it was it's heartbreaking. But now I'm just thinking about it. I just thought, but like after it, then in the night, I was just like putting on a brave face sort of thing. I had a couple of drinks and whatever else, and then in the morning we were traveling home, and Tony Borg had a lift for us home as well. So, and then he was just like saying to me like it was a brilliant performance. There's no shame in losing to him and everything else. And then I come home, and then like a couple of days later, I said, "Oh, come on, I'll just book like a motorhome." I've seen I just booked one of them, and I said, "Oh, come on, we're just getting out." Yeah, so we went to Tenby for a couple of days, and it just gradually just disappeared, sort of thing. The feeling, and obviously I still think about it now and again, but I just got to put it to the back of my mind and just drive me more than anything. So to know. Obviously, I want to keep that promise to my boy and bring that belt home, sort of thing. So that's my main drive. Obviously, make a good future for him and my family. Like so.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, mate, it's like not very many people go through their whole career without losing, and
No.
not many people, will go through and they won't make a mistake or they won't, stuff will happen. And it's always, I always say to anyone about anything, it's like it's how you deal with it afterwards and what you go to do with it next, and you use it as fuel and fire to make
Oh yeah.
take this next step up. No.
100%, yeah, and obviously my missus, she played a big part in it as well. So I gotta thank her, or she'll kill me. But like, she always says the right things to me and whatever else. So like a massive thanks to her. Like, because obviously I didn't want to be seen, so that's why I just wanted to go somewhere.
Yeah.
I like obviously I didn't normally I'll go out the day after and like go and have a couple of pints with my old man or whatever else. I just didn't want to celebrate. I got nothing to celebrate. Like I lost, so I just wanted to get out there and just not see anyone, sort of thing. I saw, honest to God, for the next couple of days I just stayed in the house. It was just me and my boy, like, so I didn't want to go anywhere, didn't want to see anyone. But now it's over. Like the next couple of weeks, then it was fine. Like I seen a couple of people and they were shaking my hand and in the street. I was thinking, oh, this wasn't as hard as I thought it was, sort of thing. But
yeah, I guess when it's still raw, like in the first few days, particularly,
yeah,
it's when you would have seen people, they want to shake your hand and they want to talk about it. So then
yeah,
you're kind of reliving it all the time. Whereas by like just going away with the family or staying in your house or whatever, you just got a bit of time to process it yourself, haven't you? And then
that's it. Yeah, and obviously everyone wanted to talk about it, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to talk about it. To be honest with you, like I just want to act normal for a couple of days and a couple of weeks, because as a boxer, you're not living a normal life.
yeah,
You're not, like, you're surviving, sort of thing. You just get up, have your breakfast, go training, come home, have your rest, have a bit of food, go training again, come home, have a bit of rest, maybe a bit of food, and then maybe a nighttime run. So, and then like bed, you're living, that's all you're living like. You're not living like a normal person. So I just wanted to live. I didn't want to talk boxing. I didn't want to talk nothing. I just wanted to live like a normal person, sort of thing.
yeah. And the thing is, you got to have that as well, haven't you? Like you can't. Like I know to be, to get to the very top, you got to train harder and you got to focus
Yeah.
harder than anyone else. But equally, I think like you need that after a fight, you need that like just time away with your missus and your son, or
Yeah,
just
just get back to normality, sort of thing. And
yeah,
well, obviously I don't see, when I'm in training camp, I don't see my family as often. Like well, my boy's in nursery now as well, so by the time like I go training, he's in nursery, and by the time I come home, man, he's probably sleeping. So and then
yeah,
I've had my food and I'm back out the door, back training. So the only time I see him is in the night, and I have like 1 or 2 hours just playing with him, and then he's off to bed again. So it's just nice to catch up, like obviously with him and my missus, because she don't see me either. I think that does us a world of good. Too much time together, she started ripping my head off. So
Would
yeah.
you like to fight Joe again?
Um, Maybe in a few years' time, like with a couple of more belts on the line, maybe bigger belt sort of thing. Yeah, I'm down to the idea. Yeah, because it was a good fight, like, and it was a brilliant fight and an advertisement for Welsh boxing, because we both put on a great performance and we both showed Welsh pride, sort of thing. But I think Joe will stay down at super feather if I'm honest. Maybe clean up at super feather. I don't know. I don't know what his plans is, but I wish him all the best in the future because I did know Joe before as well, and we spoke after the fight, and I spoke a couple of days ago to him as well, wishing him luck and whatever else in his upcoming fight. So
Yeah, I was going to say, did you speak to him afterwards and that? Because obviously you're two Welsh boys, and I think
yeah,
I'd seen an interview with you the other day where you'd say you knew him, from before the
yeah,
fight and that.
yeah.
So yeah, you spoke to him after the fight, obviously, and
Yeah, message each other in the morning, just congratulating each other on a brilliant fight, and whatever else we said, have a bit of downtime now and eat some shit food and whatever else.
yeah.
But yeah, I wish him all the luck in the future. Yeah,
So one of the things which kind of interests me, but also it worries me more so, I think in MMA it worries me than boxing is weight cutting, because particularly in MMA I just feel like it's like you're waiting for something tragic to happen. But I think
it will. I think I think it's going to happen. I've seen them dropping like 24 pound and in like 12, 13. I'm thinking how they doing that sort of thing. I don't do nothing like that. Like
it's not good
no,
for you, is it? You can't not
yeah,
good to be losing that much weight in a day, or like
no,
in a
it's not.
over like a couple of days. I don't think it's particularly healthy. Like, and the thing is to then not just to do it, but then to go and fight at the top level. I just think that can't be good. You know, just for the fighter who's dropped the weight, um, like expending all that weight and then expending all the energy you do in explosive
Yeah,
fights and that. This can't be good for the body. And
like
then getting hit in
especially
the
in the
head.
long.
Yeah, yeah. If it goes like
It's
5 rounds in MMA or
Yeah.
12 rounds in boxing or whatever, it can't be good. So,
No.
what sort of weight do you walk around in compared to what you fight at?
I walk average weight. Like probably walk around 11 stone. Um, biggest I've been is probably about 11 and a half stone. But that was when I was injured. I couldn't train or.
Yeah,
But when obviously when I'm not training for a fight, I'm always taking over. So I'm always around about 10, 10. Keep myself like on a on a good scale of fitness as well all the time, just in case I get a call like I got a title fight for you in 2 weeks. I know I'm fit enough. So my weight is always like down around about 10, 10, 10, 10, 8. So then as long as I got a good diet, I only need like 4 weeks, and then I come down to 9 stone 9. But that's day before, look.
yeah.
Day before being.
Jeez, 9 stone. Jesus, that's
Yeah, and
impressive.
I'm 6 foot as well. So
Jesus Christ. I didn't
probably
realize you were that tall.
yeah, I'm probably one of the biggest lightweights in the world at the moment.
I was gonna say that's a
Yeah,
big. That's
and
tall for a lightweight, isn't it?
I was seeing Luke Campbell. I'm bigger than him anyway. Yeah,
All right, okay.
I think it's all to do with my legs, mate. I got sticks for legs.
All right, okay. So let's have a look what else we got, because we're not even like a quarter way through these questions. Let's have a go. Okay, how good is Cody Davis now, and how good will he be?
I've known Cody a long time. We were on the Welsh amateur team together, and I think since he's come down a weight, he's so much better. He's so much sharper. His movement is. Do you know what? He's going to be world champion. Honestly believe that as well. Um, I've obviously heard stories because obviously I know him quite well. I've heard stories of him sparring world champions and just playing with them sort of thing. So I think he's going to get up there, and obviously I think he's going to do it quite quick as well. I think he's the better fighters he fights, he's going to perform better as well. So
Mm.
I think he's going to reach the top. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've only seen a couple of his fights, like the more recent ones, but he just looks special. Like, um,
He is a real talent. Fair play. And he been always has been as well since the amateur game. Obviously, you don't unless you like a Russian or anything like that. You're not gonna win these tournaments sort of thing
No.
because we were both out in a tournament together. I can't remember what tournament it was, and we both got to the final, and we both got robbed, like blatantly robbed, and well, we were tamping together, like, but that's how it is in the amateurs. So he didn't have his luck in the amateurs, but he was on the GB squad and whatever else. So that was a good platform for him.
Yeah. So have you got a fight scheduled now, like your next fight? Yeah, you have, haven't you? Because I read about it the other day. Up
Yeah,
in
I'm fighting 3 weeks on the 30th November this month, Pontypool,
so yeah.
Active Living Centre, I think it is. Come by fight it is really, but I got a decent opponent. Let me pronounce. Yeah, Caesar Abdan. That's his name. Former Olympian for Cameroon, was it? I think it was Cameroon. Come over here for the London Olympics, boxed in the Olympics, and I think he just stayed over here.
All right. Okay. So that's a decent like a decent opponent, isn't it? If he's
Yeah,
Olympian and that.
yeah, and he's just beat a boy like 17-2 as well. I'd rather fight. I don't want to go backwards now. So obviously, I either want to fight for a title or fight for people who's going to come to win, or just pick up a paycheck sort of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's easier to sell tickets as well. Obviously, I do pretty well on tickets, so but like my fan base just keeps on growing. Like it's phenomenal. Like I still to this day find it's mad. Like people, the amount of people come to support me from this small village is like we got Lewis, Chiaris, and Nelson all like in a small area, and like more. I got like groups of people coming from all over as well. I got people coming from Ebervale, Cardiff. Like, it's mad. Like and people see me in the street and they come up to me, oh, how's it going, Gavin? I'm going to think that's what their name is. I'm like, oh, how's it going? But like, it's brilliant to have everyone's support. Like, and I can't thank them all enough for buying tickets and whatever else.
Yeah. How many Welsh fans travelled up, Jack, and for your last fight? I bet there was loads there.
Oh, it was hundreds. Well, my missus, she was going to sort out tickets, so I asked Matchroom for, I think it was it 500 or 400 tickets, and obviously they, because I wasn't a Matchroom fighter, they didn't allow me to have tickets. They just allowed me like a family and friends sort of thing, family tickets. So I only had like for my mother, my missus, and my father and things like that. So everyone had to buy them off that StubHub and things like
Yeah.
that. But the amount of people who text me said I'm coming up, it must have been like still 300-400 people who went up. So to all the way to London as well, they're spending their hard-earned cash. Obviously, it's not cheap in London as well. It was fantastic, and I could hear after the fight because obviously you could hear them like in between rounds and whatever else. But after the fight, I looked up and I was just looking around the O2. I was thinking they come here to watch me sort of thing, and it didn't really sink in until me and my missus went to watch my gym mate Lee Selby fight. Not last week, the week before up there, and I walked in there and I was thinking, I fought in here. That's
Yeah.
mental. And it hit me then. I was thinking, because I was just thinking about the fight when I was up there last time. I didn't think about nothing else. I wasn't taking nothing in. I just didn't want to get distracted by anything. But it was a surreal feeling when I went up there last time and see all the fans and everything else supporting Lee as well. It was great. I seen a load of Welsh fans up there, gone up there to support him, and it's brilliant. We got like the Welsh are probably the best fans because they'll travel anyway to support
Yeah.
football, rugby, boxing, MMA. Like it's brilliant the what the fans do as well.
Yeah, they're Welsh fans, like Welsh sport fans. They just go anywhere, don't they? Like Irish fans, they just
They'll
follow
allow
it.
fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah.
So, like Welsh boxing, so this person's asking, he says, Welsh boxing seems to be in unbelievable shape these past few years, particularly. Is there any up-and-coming Welsh boxers which we should keep an eye out for?
I know it's a bit of a thing now, but because he's a gym mate of mine, but real special talent. He come out to America with us for the last training camp. Jordan with us. I seen him sparring Kazakhstan out there. Ex amateur world champion. I think he's ranked like number 6 in the world in the IBF, and he've only had like 6 or 7 fights. And Jordan, you couldn't tell who was who in there. Like, it was phenomenal, the sparring, and for his size, he moves like a featherweight. He's so skillful as well. But another Welsh talent as well, a good friend of mine, is Kieran Jones. From Geffrey Gay, ABC. I think he's going to be turning over next year or the year after. He just had an operation on his arm. Another special talent as well. 2 young boys as well. So they got a big future in boxing.
What weight is Jordan Withers?
Jordan Withers, I think he's super middle or middle. Yeah, and then Kieran's, I think he's light middle. I think he'd be as a pro, light middle or middle, something around there. Yeah.
Okay, and here we go. So I have some quick fire questions. Best boxer of all time?
I'd say Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, that's a good shout myself. Mayweather or Joe Calzaghe?
Different weights, so you'd have to say Joe, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Being a Welshman as well.
Yeah, that's it. No, you can't go against the Welshman, can you?
No.
It is an interesting one. Biggest tosser in boxing, which you've met?
Which I've met?
Well, you don't have to have met him. Just biggest tosser in boxing.
Probably Don King, innit?
Yeah.
Or an absolute knob.
Yeah.
Because I he just done to like Liam Williams. He won the purse bids for a WBC silver title against one of his fighters, and then wanted it out in, is it Congo or something like that? I don't.
Oh, was it?
So, Congo or something like that. I don't know where the hell it is, but that fight will never happen. He just won that purse bids, and for the fight not to happen, sort of thing. That's another Welsh fight I think is gonna well, hopefully next year now he get his big chance a world title fight. I think he deserves it as well, going off the last couple of performances.
Yeah, spot on. So what's more satisfying, like a big KO or completely outboxing someone, over the whole fight, number of rounds?
I've only ever stopped one person as a professional, but I stopped 3 or 4 as an amateur. I must have been a bigger puncher as an amateur, and the smaller gloves have been a pro. But I'm more of a a down guy. So I outbox them, but it's good to have an early night, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. You can have your pizza and burger in there.
Yeah, just go out. Boom! First punch, knock them out. But I like to fight anyway, so probably just outbox them sort of thing, or go for outboxing.
Right. So Alan asked, aside from domestic lightweights that are out there for you now, who would you have liked to have shared a ring with at any weight? I think he means from all time.
Yeah, from all time. I don't know. Was Gatti? What's his name? He's welterweight, wasn't he? Or any weights.
Yeah, I think he said any weights. Yeah.
I'd say Barrera. I'd love to have a go with him because he's phenomenal. Like, I think it would brilliant. I would have loved that. Like, so that would probably be that'd be my pick.
Yeah. Gatti he's an interesting character though, isn't he? Just one of them which box office to watch, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely 100% class.
What do you think of Prince Nazim?
Good for business, obviously. And I didn't like his style of fight them, but class. When he obviously he's like how many titles did he have? How many world titles did he have? And he come unstuck against Barrera. That's the type of style I like. Head down, ass up, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Like, but what a puncher he was for that weight. Like, he'd knock him out center. Like, I think I was all to do with his legs or and his movement. Like his movement, he'd hit you from you. You didn't even know where it was coming from, sort of thing. But it was like that's the way the Ingles train their fighters, isn't it? Is being elusive and not getting it, sort of thing. But it's a good thing in a way, really.
Yeah, he used to hit fighters like from weird angles and that, wasn't it?
He'd jump from like 3 foot and just hit them. You think, and they'd be spark out on a canvas. You think, how'd he do that? How'd he pull that off?
And he's tiny as well, wasn't he? He's like
but his legs
small.
are massive. His legs are like gymnastic legs. They were huge.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Like he was good for boxing because he obviously had that period where he was unbeaten, and more every time he'd fight, more and more people would tune in to see if this was the one.
Yeah, the entertainment value was second to none. Like his ring entrances and everything else, it was like class. It was good. That's good for boxing, isn't it?
Yeah, just want more people to watch.
Didn't he? Like obviously, some people don't like a bigger entrance or anything like that, but the crowd love it. The crowd love all that razzmatazz sort of thing. So, yeah.
Have you ever fought someone you severely dislike or even hate?
Not really.
No.
Because most of the amateur guys you fight, you don't really know them if you're on the international scene anyway. And I don't really dislike anyone really.
Yeah.
No.
Have you had any fights like where there's a bit of needle, like, and a bit of I don't know, not necessarily like hate or anything like that, but just getting a bit tetchy, like.
Probably, yeah. My missus just said, but they know, like Henry James when I won the Welsh title. I can remember we both had interviews on the SOC. It was on the SOC at the time, and I think it was the night before, and I can remember one of his brothers in the interview. We were watching it, and he said, "Oh, Gavin, I've got no chance." What did he say? Something like Henry will walk right through him, and that got to me. And then, like the game plan went out the window before he went in the ring. So, but that's not hate or anything. I just got in my head, sort of thing.
Yeah, just annoyed you a bit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was a bit of needle with Myron Mills when I won the British title eliminator, saying he was going to knock me out and everything else, and then I just put it up him, like, sort of thing, and I was just laughing in his face when he was hitting me, sort of thing. But yeah, that was class. Seeing his coach, because I jumped on the scales, like this, and his coach was saying in the weigh-in, "You're going to get knocked out," and I went. After the fight was over, I went up to him, Clifton Mitchell, and I said, "I didn't get knocked out, did I?" And I beat this boy up for like the first 3 rounds. It was tight. I was getting caught with shots, and then for the next 7 rounds, I just beat him. I just beat him up like slowly, just got to him, sort of thing. It was class.
Yeah, I've seen the highlights of that fight, thinking of it, because I remember seeing the weigh-ins. They were quite. There was some, like, if I remember correctly, if it's the one I'm thinking of, it's like when you were weighing in, there was quite a lot of like people saying stuff behind you, and
it was loads of people saying he's gonna get knocked out and all. I was thinking that they obviously don't know me. I spar with like middleweights, super middleweights. Don't bother me. Like, I'll probably go one of the best chins in the game. I just, it was brilliant that night.
Satisfying.
Yeah, it was so satisfying, and I can remember in the interview as well. Even that Myron said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be an early night for me. I'm gonna spark him out." I was thinking, another thing coming, boy.
What did he say afterwards?
Nothing, just a good fight sort of thing. And that was it. Like really, I shut his mouth up, didn't I?
Yeah. If you could decide who to fight in your final ever fight before you retire, who would it be? Like from any era, I suppose, or just if you could just pick your final fight.
Got to be Mayweather, innit? The money fight.
Yeah, that's it, innit?
Get the money out of the game and gone.
Yeah, he'll probably still be fighting. But like when
Yeah, he
when
might
you
be.
retire, he's
Probably
just
still make one lightweight as well. He walks around like 10.5 stone or whatever he is. Like I can remember one of the fights he made like light well done. He was eating Big Macs and wherever I was thinking, but he didn't. When he fought Canelo, like he probably weighed in lighter than the next day when he fought him. Down on the scales, like it's mad.
yeah, he's just a bit of a freak of nature, I think, isn't he? Like I know people slate him sometimes for like perhaps avoiding fights and stuff, maybe, but
But he's a businessman at the end of the day, and probably one of the best businessmen in the world.
oh yeah. And
Well,
you don't go to, was he 49-0? Not many people do, are they? Let's be honest.
nah,
So
no.
is where it
So
is.
what? Yeah, what is Joe Kazaki? What was his? That was.
I can't remember.
Who had 49? No one.
Yeah, I think
No,
he won
46.
far off with it. I think it was 40 something, wasn't it?
46, wasn't it? 46. No.
Yeah, 46, 32 knockouts.
Yeah, so that's a decent record as itself, isn't it?
Jesus. Oh yeah.
From Wales in a small town at Newbridge, like.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
and like he's widely regarded as, being one of the best ever, like in the world, isn't
One
he?
of the
So
greatest. Yeah. One of the greatest. Yeah.
it always makes, like, I don't know, as a Welshman, like it's weird, isn't it? Because obviously living in Wales, you realise how small Wales is compared
Oh,
to,
compared
you
to
know,
these like Canada, America, and these other countries. Do you know what I mean? And the amount of champions we produced out of a small nation is brilliant. And like obviously we got beaten in the semi-finals of the rugby against South Africa, and then you go and see South Africa give England a thumping in the final. So it's just going to show how well we did play by only losing by, what was it, 3 points in the end, was it?
yeah,
So
that's it, innit? So if you could fight anyone from any era, well, we kind of answered that because Aaron
yeah, it
asked
was
something
brilliant.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll skip that one. Many fans think you have the potential to be one of the great Welsh boxers. Do you feel the pressure of those lofty expectations and comparisons?
Do you know what? I feel a lot of pressure being lifted off me now since I've lost my unbeaten record. I think I'm going to fight a hell of a lot better as well, not protecting that unbeaten record.
Yeah,
So I think I'm going to box a lot better. Obviously, I feel a lot of pressure anyway because I feel that I got to perform sort of thing because I got to keep on providing for my family sort of thing as well. So that type of pressure, but no sort of pressure off the fans sort of thing.
yeah,
But maybe on fight night when you walk out and there's hundreds and hundreds of people chanting your name sort of thing. But not the kind of pressure that's going to put me off
yeah,
performing and whatever else. Like,
yeah. And I guess in some ways, like you said, like losing your unbeaten record, it just takes that bit of pressure out of it, and it just that you haven't got the especially as the unbeaten record kind of goes on and on. It's like an extra. No, I don't want to say a distraction, but like just an extra bit of pressure in it.
yeah, it is added pressure because obviously you seem to be a great fighter if you do go unbeaten, but you don't see it nowadays. you very rich. Obviously, the last being Mayweather. So I'm going off that. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I can't. The only other person I see finishing their career as unbeaten next probably has got to be like Callum Smith, or maybe even Josh Taylor, the Scottish lad who just won 2 weeks ago as well. They are two fantastic talents. Like I'd probably see them going all the way and finishing their career if they get out at the same time and don't like prolong their career, like going into the stupid ages of boxing,
Yeah.
like boxing till they're like 40 sort of thing. But yeah, I could see them getting out, make their money and get out where they got good health and everything else and a nice bank account.
Yeah, I suppose that's the aim, isn't it? Is
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah.
um, outside of Joe Calzaghe, who do you think is the greatest Welsh boxer of all time?
Johnny Owen.
Shout. Good
Yeah.
shout. So let's move on to some of the non boxing questions then.
They're gonna be dirty.
No, they're pretty good. I had a quick because I pasted a lot of them from my emails. I think they're pretty lucky. A lot of them are just like asking you about like what we got, like asking you about Conor McGregor, and some of them there was one about who's. Go on, we'll start with that one. Uh, who's worse, Trump or Boris Johnson? Fucking hell.
I don't really follow like politics or anything like that, but you'd have to say Trump or no.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
I would say myself, like, but Boris is a bit of a I don't know.
She's a bit of a dick, isn't he?
Like, but I'm not a politics person, so
No,
I couldn't
me
really
neither.
answer that. I haven't really got a clue what's going on with this Brexit thing. I wouldn't know what's happened if we left or if we stayed in. Like, so
Yeah, I don't really follow it myself. So, Cardiff City or Swansea City?
Cardiff City, you gotta be in there.
Yeah, thank fuck for that. Glad you said that. So, Jack and Wales will qualify for the Euros in the football.
Oh, it's a tough task, isn't it? Let's be honest. When's the next fixture now?
I think it's I think there's one before Christmas. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's still in their hands. See, so like if they, I think if
I
they
hope
win,
they do. To be honest with you, I hope they do. I hope they do, but I don't know. I just can't see it. I can't see it. I can't. If I'm honest, like
yeah. Do you think if they
maybe
would
going
you,
off for everything like so?
yeah, if they don't qualify, do you think they should sack Ryan Giggs?
Do you know what? Right, I get this debate all the time with people in work and whatever else with football. Why do they always blame the managers? It's the players kicking the ball about, no one else.
Yeah,
Do
I
you get what
completely
I mean?
agree.
It fries my brain. The manager is just putting the tactics and what they're going to do. It's the players doing the actual kicking of the ball and whatever else. I'm trying to. I just fries my brain. Like why blame the manager? He's not on the pitch. He's not losing the games. You are.
Yeah.
Blame the players if anything else.
I'd keep him, I would, because I like what he's done
Agree.
is he's brought in a lot of young players, and Wales have got some cracking young footballers. So I would keep
Yeah.
him and help him because a lot of the
Development. That's what they want. They do need a lot of youngsters coming up now. They got that. They'll have that speed and that extra bit of drive as well. The youngsters have. So I don't know.
and the thing
I'm
is
not.
they've all come up through they've all come up through all the age groups together as well. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
used to playing together, and they all look up to someone like Giggs, who's won everything. He's won literally everything he could possibly have won.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, so they got their last two qualifiers on the 16th and the 19th of November. One's away against Azerbaijan and one's at home against Hungary. If they win them, they qualify. Like so.
Would they qualify? Yeah.
Yeah.
You see him beating Azerbaijan?
Yeah, I can see him beating Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure they'll beat Hungary though. Although Hungary's a home, see, so it's like gotta win your
Yeah, it
home
does
games.
give you a bit of advantage, doesn't it? We're home. If do you know what my cousin follows, like flat out, like he went to the Euros and everything in where was it, France, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But he'd have a hell of a debate with Ubi about about this. Like I'll watch obviously when it's on the telly, but I'm not like clued up on everything
yeah,
else. Do you know what I mean with the
yeah.
players? But I do watch them when they play, and like I do support them. Obviously being Wales, and
That's
obviously
it.
I support Cardiff City when they play and then everything else. But
So, what's your favorite music to walk out to and work out to?
to walk out to is Red Hot Chili Peppers, Can't Stop. That's my tune. I think I've had in nearly all of them except the last, because Joe picked his ring entrance, and obviously being a matchroom fighter, he gets, and being the champion, he gets the choice, doesn't he? So, but that's my.
He nicked your song.
Yeah, he must
Jeez.
have. Yeah, yeah. It was like it must have been head games or nothing.
Yeah.
But I can remember saying to the matchroom guy on Instagram, he said, "Oh, send me over what you want as a walkout entrance." I said, "Oh, just pick me in, and don't really care. I can walk out to Barbie girls. I'm walking in our ring for one thing only. It's for a fight. I don't really care what I walk out to." But then I picked the song, and I can't remember what it was. It was, I think it'd been crap as well. It wasn't even the best tunes. But I don't really listen to music when we train in.
No.
Obviously, when I train, obviously I trained on Newport with Tony. We either on the pad, so he's shouting out instructions, or on the bag, or sparring. So we don't really have music on. But if we're in, I use a gym up in Merthyr, Dalion Fitness. They've been great as well. Since I started a PT course with Richard Thomas, and then he started sponsoring me to be my PT. Does all my strength and conditioning, and then Dalion said I could use the gym for free, so that's been a massive help. When I'm up there, they just got all different tracks on, so I don't care what I listen to as long as there's some music on. I don't really,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? I don't.
Nothing in particular, like.
Nah, I don't really care as long as what's in now. Really, I'll listen to anything.
Ah, right, okay. So, here we go then. Right. What's Conor McGregor? Discuss. What do you think of him?
What a man to make money.
Yeah, he's
I think he
businessman.
blagged his way into like. Obviously, blagged his way into that Mayweather fight, didn't he? But
Yeah.
everyone said, "Oh, how well he done" and things like that. But a defensive fighter walked down someone who's supposed to be in a puncher. It's a different game, like MMA, because they got so much things to think about, kicking and jiu-jitsu and what they, do you know what their skill set is like we couldn't do what they do, and they couldn't do what we do, sort of thing. So that's what happened there. But I think if Mayweather went in the cage with him, he'd get demolished.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
then
I agree.
and
Yeah.
then arms, gloves on, boy, and when he kicked to the head, elbow him in the, it's mental, isn't it? But he's great for MMA, isn't he?
Yeah, he changed the game, mate. Changed
Yeah, he
the game
it
for him.
class, like, and I like a geezer. I do. I think he's class, like, yeah.
Yeah, the way I look at it is like people slate him, but without him, all those UFC fighters would be getting paid a lot less
Oh,
because
definitely. Because
he
imagine
changed it for everyone.
on the undercards of being on his fights. I bet they had stupid money for being on the undercards of his fights.
Oh yeah.
Stupid money.
And at the end of the day, I was going to say at the end of the day, like what you just said, he talked his way into a fight with Floyd Mayweather, which arguably one of the best boxers of all time, got paid 70 million or whatever, made for life, job done.
Mental, and that's the aim of a. Obviously, we professional prize fighters. That's our aim, to make money. I know it's the belts as well, but most important of all, if we didn't have the money at the end of it, what else we'd be doing it for? We'd be living on the street otherwise.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, the belts and everything else. That's just pride. You want to get to the top, sort of thing. That's pride. But you obviously need the money as well, and you want to make as much money as possible.
Do you do any like MMA training or anything like that yourself? Just
I've never honestly I've never honestly been in the MMA gym.
no.
I've never put in one. So obviously, I spar that Mason Jones.
Yeah.
I seen him on the pad the other day kicking a pad. I thought, no, if he kicked me, he'd snap me in half. I wouldn't be able to do it. Like the things they do is mental. Like, and the amount of stuff they have to learn as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of skills, isn't it? Like a lot of
Yeah,
different things. And the thing is, as well, it's like what you just said, is if Floyd Mayweather had got in the octagon with McGregor, he's suddenly got to deal with like spin kicks and head kicks and
I think he would have
spinning
just
back fists and that.
ground. And I know Conor McGregor's ground game ain't the best, but compared to Mayweather, who probably he would only train there for like a couple of months or whatever else. He would have just got him out there in the first round, and I would have been done and dusted, sort of thing.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think he's still like a brown belt or something in jiu-jitsu and that type of thing, which it's not like where the top guys who are that black belts and all this sort of stuff, but it's still to someone who's not done any training, he take them apart.
In his life, that's all he concentrated on is boxing and his obviously it's a stand-up game, isn't it? So I mean, I think Conor in the cage, I think he'd take him down and get a submission pretty quick. So
yeah, I think so. So last couple of questions. Pedophile hunter groups, good or a bad thing? Do they make it harder for police, or do they make it harder for police to do their jobs, or do they do the jobs that the police should be doing anyway?
Obviously, with the police, I don't think they got enough. They made a lot of cutbacks now, so I don't think they'd be doing that sort of thing. So these paedophile groups, they're catching them, and then handing them over to the police so they can prosecute them and everything else. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely, mate. And certainly, like I say, as a father, like with kids who are on like some social media and on the internet, I'm pleased that they're there because like they know not only do they catch them, they hand over like big files of evidence to the police.
Yeah.
They literally hand them on a plate, don't they?
Yeah. So it's a good thing. The amount of technology out these days is so easy for them to. I don't know. They just get away with it. Some of these.
What makes me angry is that when these groups like hand them on a plate to the police then prosecute them, and then the judges let them out. Like how many times? I reckon at least 3 times a month I read about some sort of offender who've done it like 2 or 3 times, been caught 3 or 4 times or whatever, and they keep releasing them. And it's like, are you just waiting for him to kill someone and do some like, real harm?
Yeah.
Just it makes me sick.
This world is in a sick place at the place it is right now. It's shocking, really, and to think about it. Like when I was a kid and that, we could go out in the street, and our parents wouldn't give a damn what we would do. Obviously, they would, like, but they knew nothing bad was going to happen. But now, that's all you're thinking about. Well, whilst letting your kid out is hope he's okay, or have you got his phone on him so I can contact him, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and like you could trust all the people in your street, and you could just like you wouldn't have any bother if you saw like one of your kids. So like if my parents saw me playing in the street, and then they like looked out the window and they saw me going into one of the houses up the other end of the street, they wouldn't have cared. Like
they've probably known them as well. Like nowadays, Like, obviously, we know a couple of our neighbours, but everything else. But in the street we used to live before, I knew every person and who was in every house, sort of thing. Like, so, like, I'd probably have food in their house and whatever else. Like, it was mad. But it's
Yeah.
not like that these days, the communities, is it?
No, it's
Yeah.
not. So that is. I just checking now. That's all the questions, Gav. That's all the questions. So that was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Good. It was good. Enjoyed it myself.
Thanks for your time, mate. I do really,
Yeah.
I really appreciate it, mate. And just you finding a time, and then you're more than welcome to come back on after your fight,
Yeah.
and we'll have a chat about it if you want to.
Yeah. I'd like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool, mate. I really enjoy that. So tell the people where they can find you on Twitter.
On Twitter, I think it's Gav G1 or Gavin Gwynne.
Gavin Gwynne, I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gavin
I
Gwynne,
don't
yeah.
really know because I don't go on Twitter. That's the only, that's the only one I really don't use. I got a page on it, but I don't really use it. Like,
Yeah.
my main page is Instagram and Facebook. That's where I mostly use. Like, obviously on Facebook is Gavin Gwynne, on Instagram as well. If you type in Gavin Gwynne, and my profile will come up, and give me a follow. I can't have any more people on my Facebook page.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I sent you one the other day, they said you've got too many requests, I think.
Yeah.
You've got like 5,000 requests or something like that, which is mad.
Yeah, it's something stupid. Like, I've told people, like I've deleted a couple of people so I could try and add, but it wouldn't still let me add. I don't know why.
It's mad, that, isn't it? Like, so many, you got so many friends and followers, like, that you just can't have anymore.
The followers. So I just said I got a fan page as well. So I just said, go over, but they don't seem to go on it. I don't seem to go on it anyway. So
yeah,
they can still follow my page anyway if they're not a friend of me. If they just like my page and give me a follow. So
cool. Guys, you can follow me on Twitter at acecast_nation. I'll one of these days I might get an Instagram page, but I never seem to get around to it. Facebook.com/acecastnation. We do 3 shows every week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. We got shows on mental health, football, films, pretty much anything and everything. Dropped a show today, which is Friday, on an interview I did with a gentleman who's living with schizophrenia, which was really interesting, trying to address the stigmas around mental health and stuff like that. Gavin, thank you for joining me, mate. I really appreciate your time, and we'll speak to you soon. And guys, see you next episode.